Hi, everybody. I'm a little early today, and if you're new to the channel, I go live with my birds all the time. And today is Monday, but oh my gosh, I've been following this story because it creeps me right out. And I'm fascinated by the Titanic. I always have been. But anyways, have you guys seen this story? A submarine went missing while exploring the Titanic. There were 3 tourists and 2 crew members. Yesterday, in the afternoon, they went missing. They went missing 1.5 hours after they left, and they were 2 miles under when they lost communications. Yes, $250,000 each to do this. I've been like watching these stories, and I just saw the Coast Guard the Coast Guard gave an update.
The Coast Guard, based in Boston, giving an update on the search for a missing submarine that was touring the wreckage of the Titanic.
5 submariners.
Okay, so this company is actually the company that took. This company is actually the company that. What was it, Don? Were you following this? They're the ones that found the Titanic. Coco, do you remember? It's very fast. Instantaneous. Oh my God.
We do ask, following his brief statement, we'll be able to take a few questions and answers. We do ask that we give everybody the opportunity to ask one question, and if we have it to go through, we can be able to ask further questions beyond that. We only have time today for about 10 minutes. So he has a brief statement on here, and at this time, I'd like to introduce Admiral John Mauger.
Are you sure they'd never know what happened? What if they're stuck down there?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rear Admiral John Mauger. I'm the commander of the 1st Coast Guard District here in Boston, Massachusetts. And in this case, I am the lead for the Coast Guard's search and rescue operations for the overdue submersible out near the wreck of the Titanic. Yesterday afternoon, we were notified by the operator of the submersible vessel that it was overdue, and it had 5 persons on board the submersible.
It was overdue, so they didn't realize. They didn't realize they were missing until they didn't come home. Yeah, but they're supposed to be able to go down there. Don. This wouldn't be my ideal way to die.
We're working very closely at this point to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to locate the submersible and rescue those on board. Our thoughts are with the crew members and the families on board, of those on board the submersible at this time, and we are doing everything that we.
So, and one of them, I heard that there's one of them is a millionaire from England or something?
To make sure that we can locate and rescue those on board. So after receiving the call, we reached out to the vessel Polar Prince and began a surface search looking for the submersible. At the same time, we launched a C-130 aircraft to conduct an air.
But all those lines are all together like a trunk. If one goes, the others are fairly likely. If you're just joining us, I'm just following this story about the exploring submarine that went down to look at the Titanic. I would never do that. Like, I wouldn't even go in one of those submarines that goes like 1 foot under the water. It's too creepy for me.
Search, both visual and radar of the scene. We've subsequently coordinated with the Canadian Coast Guard and Canadian Armed Forces to deploy additional assets.
One of those on board has done numerous trips to the Titanic.
To the scene. The Canadians have had a C-130 aircraft searching as well, in addition to also having a P-8 submarine search aircraft deploy as well, and put sonar buoys in the water in attempt to listen. The location of the search is approximately 900 miles east of Cape Cod in a water depth of roughly 13,000 feet. It is a remote area. And it is a challenge to conduct a search in that remote area, but we are deploying all available assets to...
A challenge to go search down there. They're not going to be able to search down there. Like, I just can't. I can't get over it. If it was capable of surfacing on its own, it would have already. If it lost pressure, it would go fast. They must have some sort of safety checks, but like they must have had to like go through a lot of stuff in order to be able to take tourists down there. If they left from Canada, I mean, Canada's not like a third world country where they just let people go off in those things.
Sure that we can locate the craft and rescue the people on board. Going into this evening, we will continue to fly aircraft and move additional vessels into the area. In this remote part of our search and rescue responsibility, oftentimes we rely on commercial operators to be the first vessels on scene.
What if they can never find them, you guys? Yeah, Stephanie, why wouldn't they have a locator beacon or something? Right? They must have some emergency thing in
We've been in touch with additional commercial vessels that are operating in the area, as well as initiating the movement of additional Canadian Coast Guard assets and U.S. Coast Guard surface asset into the area over the course of the next couple of days. Adding to the complexity of this case is the fact that this was a submersible vessel, and so we...
The technology to go that deep is very new, and when they found the Titanic, they drones to do it. Drones? Oh, I didn't know that. You think they'll turn up? Oh, I don't know. Just one little sub. I don't think, if something happened, I don't think it'll turn up. Because it would have to sink, wouldn't it? My husband, Brad, he's a scuba diver, and he was training with this, I don't know, when our daughter was like 5, he was training with this new technology of deep diving or whatever. It's quite complicated. All boats should have something so they could find it. Oh boy, Sharon. I don't know. I don't think anyone... It must... Okay. Does anyone know about the military? Do all military people go in the submarines? Because it would take a special person to go down there. They did find the Titanic.
To make sure that we're looking both on the surface for the vessel if it had surfaced back to the water, but it somehow lost communications with the vessel, and that's what the aircraft and the surface search vessel is allowing us to do right now. But we're also having to search in the water column, and we're doing that right now with the use of sonar buoys and sonar on the ship that's out there to listen for any sounds that we can detect in the water column.
That's like finding
Over the course
a needle.
of the next couple of days, we anticipate adding additional capability to conduct additional search in the water as those.
I read too, they have 96 hours. They only have 96 hours. 96 hours in there. Oh, what did you say? Yeah, okay, Wanda said 96 hours. Yeah, some kind of rape. They're not going to find that thing with the radar. It's like a needle in the haystack. That's true, April. I was surprised they found those kids, too. What was that? God, I'm so creeped out right now. What was that? Are you guys okay? Oh, what did you do? Oh, you threw that bag down. Okay. We're all good? Huh? I'm still so creeped out today over this story. I get into these stories and it's just like my everything. I don't think all military have experience with submarines. Yeah, that was amazing. I still haven't followed that story, April, to find out like how they found those kids and how the kids survived. And the baby, too. The water kills the electronics. 5 people. 2 crew and 3 tourists.
Commercial assets arrive on scene. Again, our thoughts are with the families and the crew members on board the submersible, and we're working very closely with all U.S. And international partners to provide any capability that we can provide to search for the overdue vessel and rescue the crew members on board. At this point, we'll take questions.
There were reports that the submarine may be trapped in the wreckage of the Titanic. Is this even possible? If that were the case, how much oxygen would these people on board have?
So in terms of locating the overdue submersible, we have to make sure that we're looking on both the surface using aerial and surface vessels, but then expanding into underwater search as well. Right now, our capability is limited to sonar buoys and listening for sounds, but we're working very hard to increase the capability.
Sonar buoys and sounds and the surface. The tribes living in the jungle helped find the kids. Oh, isn't that nice? How smart. They eat a tablespoon of flour a day. Someone's chewing on the door. You're creeping me out, Rue. Don't chew the door. You can come out with us. Come on. Come on, you come and watch it, okay? It's the Titanic. Okay, this is very serious, okay? There's no messing around today, okay? You can watch with us, okay? You can watch with us. Look at Coco's really mad right now. You call for them. Okay, Coco. Coco's so mad. Are you giving your own news conference or what? Oh. Okay, so this is the Coast Guard, Rue, okay? It's the Coast Guard. Coco's ready to kill her. You go on my shoulder. We gotta watch this, Rue, okay?
I understand from the operator of the vessel that the vessel was designed with a 96-hour sustainment capability if there was an emergency on board. And so we're using that time, making the best use of every moment of that time to
This
locate
is
the
even
vessel.
creepy watching.
Who was on board exactly? Is there somebody named Hamish Harding, a British explorer, who can confirm that he's on board as a family member?
At this point, I'm not in a position to confirm the identity of anybody on board the vessel. Out of respect for the families, we're going through the notification process, and more updates will be forthcoming.
Sorry, I may be jumping something here, but it seems like if that vessel is indeed sitting on the bottom, you have a 96-hour window to reach it, that this is a race to get some sort of rescue vehicle down to it. Am I correct about that?
That's absolutely part of the overall planning for this search case. Right now, we're focused on locating the vessel, but at the same time, if we find this vessel in the water, then we will have to effect some sort of rescue or coordinating, reaching out to different partners within the U.S. Navy, within the Canadian Armed Forces, and within private industry to understand.
They were supposed to show up yesterday. They were supposed to show up. No, I don't think Rue is older than 25. Oh, I'm sorry, Burb Love. What do you think, Rue?
Underwater rescue capability might be available.
Are there any vessels on the way there that can do that? Can we get down there?
So at this moment, we're focused on the search and understanding the capabilities of the.
Yeah, it looks like they are more than 24 hours overdue.
That are deploying to the scene.
And what are your sonar measure as deep as 13,000 feet?
So the sonar capabilities within the sonar buoys and within the hull of the commercial vessel that is out there operating on site, those aren't Coast Guard sonars, they are capable of listening to a depth of 13,000 feet, as I understand.
13,000 feet. Okay, how far down is the Titanic? Anyone know? 13,000 feet. They can hear down. That is far. Well, no, 13,000 feet is how many feet are in a mile?
Mentioned that there were 96 hours of oxygen. How much of the 96 hours can you make needed if they are submerged? And also, what is the square mileage of your search right now?
So in terms of the square mileage of the search, I don't have that number right at this.
So they can only hear 2.5 miles. Oh, 13,000. Oh, okay. So they can hear down. They can hear that far. Yes or no? On math. Say yes, they can hear that far, or no, they can't.
But it includes both a surface area that we're looking at and a subsurface area. And so we'll get you the exact number for the square mileage of the search. In terms of the hours, we understood that was 96 hours of rescue or emergency capability from the operator. And so we anticipate that there's somewhere between 70 to the full 96 hours available at this point.
Do you believe that the search would be in a location near the Titanic? And if so, what are some of the challenges with sonar and a debris field that the Titanic had to face?
Okay, Don says if they are directly over the sub, they can send short text messages back and forth. They haven't heard from them since yesterday.
So it's certainly the purpose of the submarine was to, as I understand, the purpose of the submersible was to provide opportunity to visit the wreck site and explore the wreck site. So that's a possibility. Again, right now our focus is getting on as much capability into the area as we can and understanding that full capability of those assets that are being deployed.
Titanic is
aerial assets that are
4,000
being
feet
deployed.
down. 4,000 feet down. Okay, so that submarine can go far down, right? Oof. Okay, so 12,000 feet is the depth of the submarine, and they can go down 5280 times 2. So so they can hear that far.
Have the capability to do both visual and radar searches, and the Canadians asset had the ability to drop sonar buoys and listen, and so we're using all that information to improve our search capability.
And if it's a police staff, it's not going to be, what does that look like as far as recruiting and prioritization challenges, et cetera?
So we're working through that right now, but what we're really focused on at the moment is really locating the vessel, which could either be in the surface or subsurface. And so we're bringing in technical expertise to understand both the dynamics of underwater search and underwater rescue.
I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into this, because they would have all those experts checking the tides and all that stuff, right?
Okay, so there'll be a lot of families watching this, and we'll be hoping for loved ones how hopeful are you?
So as search and rescue professionals, we work very, very hard, and our crews take this personally. Our first thoughts are with the crew members and the families of those on board. And so we want to make sure that we have done absolutely everything that we can do to...
Leanne, I think you're right, really. To be honest, it's neat to see those images and stuff that you see sometimes, but
locate their family members and bring them home safe. And so they're first and foremost in our thoughts every moment of this search operation.
So how common are these threats to the Titanic in general? How dangerous are they even without an emergency cables?
I don't have any details on how often folks visit the wreck site there at Titanic, nor any specific comments on the dangers involved. Certainly, every time ships go to sea, they encounter hazards and dangers, and so...
So have they gone into the Titanic to get those, those artifacts and stuff? Or are they leaving it? I wonder who owns it. Who owns it? I'm obsessed with it. Look. Anything about it, I have.
Having properly prepared vessels, properly prepared crew members, and making sure that you practice emergency procedures. Good practical advice for anybody that goes to sea.
What's happening specifically with the families of those people involved right now? Are you in contact with them? Is there a staging area for them? What's happening?
So at this point, I'm not going to discuss any information about the families and communications with the family.
So they got some of the artifacts from inside. Years ago they did, yeah, because there's the Titanic thing that goes touring around. I saw it and I wasn't that impressed. A year ago they brought up new type artifacts. Who owns it? That's what I want to know. Who owns it?
And so we'll provide that with future updates.
Any idea on the number of personnel searching? Is it dozens, hundreds?
So the Coast Guard has two C-130 aircraft. In addition to the command team that's working here, we have two C-130 aircraft deployed. The Canadians have a C-130 aircraft and a P-8 aircraft. We also have access to, and we'll launch this evening, a C-130 aircraft from the New York National Guard to make sure that we have sufficient air assets up there. On the surface, we have the commercial operator that's been on site, and we're bringing additional surface search assets into play, which will also bring in some subsurface search capability.
So
last question, please.
How many are like company employees? How many are people who are paid to be on?
I understand from the operator that there was one pilot or submersible commander operator on board, and that there were 4 mission specialists on board is the term that the operator uses for him. So five total. You have to ask the operator what that means. What we're focused on is finding those 5 people.
The United States declared it salvor in possession. What the heck does that mean? A free-for-all. Oh, boy.
Thank you very much for your time.
You've been listening to U.S. Coast Guard Commander Rear Admiral John Mauger, who is the lead for the search and rescue of this overdue submersible by Ocean Gate Expeditions. Now, since Sunday afternoon when the Coast Guard was alerted, the search has begun. The submersible is used to tour the wreckage of the Titanic, and officials say the notification came that the vessel was overdue. So officials in Canada are also assisting with the search. The Coast Guard says that this will continue.
So the C-130s can only search for visual clues, and dropping sonar buoys can't do much. Okay, Noreen, why don't you come back later, or maybe tomorrow, because this is kind of what I'm interested in right now. Let's see the comments. There's always interesting comments. Everyone on board that submersible knew the extreme danger of visiting the Titanic. It's like unskilled climbers climbing Everest. There's 5 panicking and hyperventilating. It would speed up the process. What? The sub was only rated to dive 200 meters further than the Titanic's depth. And one of you said that, what did you say? One of you said, oh, it was only, they only had one submarine that was rated to go down that far? Oh my God. Oh well, I hope they find them. I'll be watching it, that's for sure. I wouldn't, would any of you go in a submersible? Like a tourist submersible, even if it's like, even if it's like short, like small. I wouldn't. Saw the Titanic mini museum on the Queen Mary. Oh. Yeah, Lynn, interesting. Why is there not another searching? Well, hopefully, maybe someone will step up. No one wouldn't. You went into submersible Disneyland? You're not far under, though. No. Claustrophobic. Like, even going in a CT machine or whatever, I don't know how people even do that. So yeah, so Rusty passed away last night. The doctor called me this morning. I was sad all morning. Got a bit of a headache from it. When one of the refuge birds dies, I always feel sad. Because it's kind of like an alumni, you know what I mean? You know, those that made it out are kind of in this small, small group of, it's like the refuge family, sort of. You know what I mean? There's so many people in BC who have refuge birds. So it's kind of sad. And Tim used to go to the refuge and look at birds. He said he used to tour over there and look at the birds. And he remembers watching Rusty. And Rusty was okay, your turn. Your turn. So Rusty was, I guess you want to talk about you? Yeah. Rusty used to be in the same enclosure as Barney and Floyd. It was kind of a wild enclosure. Like I don't know, they have 200 large cockatoos in there. And I remember the people going in there, when they'd have to go in and feed and clean, they'd have to put coats over their head. And the volunteers, no one really wanted to go in there. But this one guy, he would go in there, and he would wear a coat over his head. And because they'd attack you, right? So, and he was a special one because he was a Mobrella. And I think it was always kept secret where he actually came from. I don't know where he came from. I was going to ask around, and I thought, you know what, I don't really need to know where he came from. And if you guys have followed us for a while, when we do those toy fundraisers, he was always the one bird, because I would go there and I'd look at him and I'm like, oh my God, he needs toys, he needs toys, he needs toys. So he was the one that benefited the most out of all the toys, because he worked all the time. And then I remember too, like, I thought, okay, he needs a bigger cage, he needs a bigger cage. So then we bought, what was it, 2 years ago, we bought those double macaw cages. I really wanted the double macaw cage for Rusty, but then everyone else wanted me to keep going, so we bought, what was it, 4 more double macaw cages for the other macaws. So, but Rusty was a ace. He was ace at escaping. He would escape anything. So I'm sad to hear that Rusty passed, but honestly, when one of these captive parrots passes, I just think that they're free now, that they don't have to follow human rules. They don't have to be in an enclosure anymore. They don't have to wait to be fed. They don't have to be lonely or sad or whatever. They can just fly, right? Who was an Air Force pilot? Yeah, I think if you look back at, some videos, like I think the World Parrot Refuge still has photos up and stuff like that, a website. I don't know if they still do. I think if you go on TripAdvisor and stuff, you can find old photos of them in that enclosure, but it was pretty wicked. He was special. He lived life longer, right? And Dr. McDonald said that he, at the end, he just doesn't do it. He was collapsing and he was failing, so. They tried their best with what they had. Actually, that's what they did their best for Rusty, and that's all you can do, right? So when we do our fundraiser, Coco's birthday is July 13th. She's gonna be 30, so we're gonna do it in honor of Rusty, right? Because he liked the toys the most, right, Rue? So that's what we'll do. A Rusty memorial. So it's always sad. And another sad thing today, Condo messaged me and he said his brother-in-law passed yesterday. So he's sad. But, well, I don't know. well, I don't know. I can't say, I don't know. But anyways, he emailed me and told me his brother-in-law's passed, so. So there we go. That's all the stuff we got to talk about. Yeah, I want it to be a Rusty memorial. Because he was special. He was like Barney, right? Just wild. Floyd. I think all Goffin Cockatoos are kind of wild. Yeah, Kondo said they essentially just medicated him so he couldn't feel anything. So Jordan was going to be in the Air Force? Did I miss something? I'm looking back. Oh, you went to an aviation challenge. They took a helicopter. What? Are we? So Jordan, please clarify. Were you in the Air Force? When I went to Aviation Challenge, they took a helicopter fuselage and dumped it into a lake, and I had to escape it. Oh my God, no thank you. When you want to be a Navy pilot. Did you guys ever see that movie where they talked about, with Kevin Costner in it? That was scary. Oh, your eyes kept you from it. Okay, I get it. Who is this? Who's coming? Are you coming to shake this place up? Where are you? There he is. See him? Are you coming out to see what's going on? You come on out over here, mister. You tell us what's going on, okay? Tell me what you and Newman did. You were rejected? I don't think I could be in any sort of military thing. I'm too much of a wimp. My brother was. Hi, Cookie. Were you checking out the bank today? Hi. Hi. My brother joined back when he was younger, so let's say he's the same age as Brad. He's in it, maybe, 35, 40 years ago. It was really hard to get a job back then. I don't know, you guys that age know how hard it was to get a job back then. And my brother couldn't find a job after school, and my dad said he couldn't stay in the house during working hours because he lived with my dad. He couldn't stay in the house during working hours. He has to be working at getting a job. So my brother would just go to the park and sit on the bench. Then he thought one day he can't do that anymore, so he joined the military. So he joined the military, and he got a education as a computer scientist, computer program or something. And then he retired after 25 years of service, and now he works for the government, negotiating contracts with the Canadian government, purchasing military. He's in the Air Force, so he works with the government, for the government, negotiating contracts for purchase of more aircraft. And he writes the manuals too. Or he's part of this whole team. The recruiters were at your house, Maria? I think if you're a male and you're that type, I think it's a really good thing for you to do. Oh, really? B-Raider? My dad's best friend is even a commercial pilot and had a small prop, and he would take me up and let me fly the plane. Taught me. Wow. Must have been fun as a kid. It was way more than you could imagine it to be. Yeah, it sure takes something. And then those people that are in, that join those, what's that elite, you know, the one that, the elite, the elite, Air Force guys that go in and, like, who are they called? Where they went in and they got Osama bin Laden. There was a movie about them once. SEALs, yeah, Navy SEALs. Was it the Navy SEALs that went in there? Oh my gosh, can you imagine the training that goes into that? And the mental, each branch has their own elite team. Well, who went in to get Osama bin Laden? Did you guys see that movie? The Navy, it was kind of like a story, a Navy SEALs story. Or a SEALs, I don't know, whatever. One of those elite teams. SEAL Team 6. A rescue team. Cookie is having a conversation with the vent. Where did you go, Cookie? He's talking to his babies. I really don't. I think people who have been in combat and through all that, you're pretty much giving up your mental health for the rest of your life. Wouldn't you guys agree? Night, Helen. Like, okay, so you join that, you go into combat, or you go through all that stuff. But I think a lot of people that serve, like police officers and everything, and firemen, I think they all kind of have PTSD. Army has Rangers, Navy has SEALs, and Marines have Delta Force. I wonder if there's been movies about, but the SEALs is the most famous one, right, Jordan? And the one thing I didn't know is recruiters are really aggressive at recruiting people. I I remember the police used to hire here, and then they used to require a university education, 2 years, or they needed a bachelor's in order to be a police officer here. But then they were kind of running out of people wanting to be that, so I think they took it away. I don't know, I could be wrong. Really? Amy? Well, Brad was in the he was in the tactical team for work, and part of the training is they'd have to go through those houses and with the bomb, like they have like houses they would go to, and they'd have to go through tear gas and all that stuff. It was pretty hardcore training. That's actually how Brad wrecked his knee, was the training. On the tactical team. Really, Carol? Is he okay now? They must get bonuses for people that sign up. Recruiters. Does anyone know? I think it's good for kids who don't have the opportunity to get an education and stuff. But at the same time, what do you think, Cookie? Are you a good boy? Huh? Oh, we cleaned all weekend, but you can't tell. Because after we clean, we leave everything out. When that boat got taken over by pirates, seals jumped out of the plane into the water, then simultaneously took out all 6. Oh yeah, wasn't that Jordan? Wasn't there a news story about that, or was it a movie? If it was a movie, I gotta watch it again. I remember that. He's a paramedic now? For West Point, the recruits have to have letter. Oh, they did make a movie. What was the movie called? Get cookies. So cute. Out here in Canada, we have Royal Roads College. That's where my brother went. Captain Phillips is the movie. I used to be a Tom Hanks fan. I kind of lost. I saw one movie of his, and it's just kind of like I wasn't a big fan of his anymore. It was about him living in a airport or something. I can't remember. Aren't they still kind of pirates? Aren't there Somalis still pirates? I actually think that everyone has PTSD. Hate to say it. Of something, you know what I mean? It's always something that triggers you. Rue's got PTSD for sure. Coco does. Sid not so much. Sid's the one bird that's lived a charmed life. Actually, no, Newman too. Newman and Sid, my Greys, have lived a charmed life. Kiwi, I think you did okay. Hey, honey? I think you did okay. The terminal? Oh, you like that movie? They cracked down on the Somali pretty hard. Yeah, he's just kind of. Tom Hanks, he's a good actor and everything, but he's the same person in every movie. You know what I mean? You know where some actors take over that role and you see them as that role. But when Tom Hanks acts, I just see Tom Hanks. I don't see the character he's portraying. You'd rather watch Michael Keaton. They do have quotas? They have to meet every month? Oh boy. He absolutely is. I just saw Sheriff Woody or David Pumpkins. John Wayne. Who do I always really like? The guy from Elf. Bruce Willis, yeah. Same as Sylvester Stallone. But like someone real talented, like that guy who played he's one of my favorite actors. The guy who played that singer that's passed away. Johnny Cash. That movie was amazing. That actor is amazing. And I liked Ferrell, yeah. Will Ferrell. He's different in every movie. Woody Harrelson? Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. He's amazing. What do you think, Cookie? Cookie's a really good actor. He plays the part so well, don't you, Cookie? Funny how he wants to be out here with us instead of in there with boring Newman. You do, Killer? I see him as Brad Pitt, kind of not a bit good anymore either. What do you think, Cookie? What are you doing, Cookie? Everyone pecks. Hey, you peck my knee, don't you, sweetie pie? Look who's here. Was it a raid and what's that, Carol? Oh. You know what other videos I've been watching today? Royal family videos. Where's my mom? I was watching. YouTube. Home. Rich billionaire. Oh, let's see what Australia's saying.
Well, there is a race against time to locate a vessel which went missing while exploring the shipwreck of Titanic. It's been confirmed there are 5 people who are on board the sub, including a British billionaire.
There's the
vessel
sub.
was last seen 600 k's offshore with a major search effort underway. Our US correspondent, Alison Petrosky, has the details. Ali, there are hopes of avoiding a second tragedy at the sites.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning to you, James. The Boston Coast Guard is leading this very complicated search and rescue mission. It is happening in a very remote part of the Atlantic Ocean, James, hundreds of kilometres off the coast of Newfoundland, where the Titanic sank in 1912. The company, the private company, is called Ocean Gate. They've been running these kind of trips for a couple of years now, where they take tourists down to view the Titanic shipwreck, so more than 3,000 metres down to the ocean floor. The submersible that they get in is called Titan. As you mentioned, 5 people were on board this time. They lost contact an hour and 45 minutes into their journey. The Coast Guard has just held a press conference a short time ago.
That's it. That's it.
Outlining the efforts they are going to both by air and by sea.
Reached out to the vessel Polar Prince and began a surface search looking for the submersible. At the same time, we launched a C-130 aircraft to conduct an aerial search, both visual and radar of the scene.
The Coast Guard has been stressing that they do have the kind of technology available to see up to 13,000 feet below the surface. As for the 5 people on board, only one man's identity has so far been revealed, the British billionaire and explorer Hamish Harding. And we know that he was on board because he posted it to social media yesterday.
Oh, that's the British millionaire.
About the trip, saying that he was about to go on the only manned mission of 2023, thanks to the worst winter in 40 years.
The only manned mission in 2023.
Making conditions pretty difficult in that region. He said in a post, a weather window has just opened up and we are going to attempt a dive tomorrow.
Weather window just opened up and they're going to attempt to dive tomorrow.
The submersible has life support designed to last up to 96 hours. They've already been missing for 24. It is 5 o'clock local time there. It will get dark in a few hours. Things will get even more complicated, but we will bring you updates on this throughout the morning.
All crossing our fingers with this one. Ali, thank you.
Well, the US Coast Guard is right now in a race against time for a missing submersible, which disappeared during...
Oh, there it is, you guys. Oh, Anne-Marie's a frequent flyer. Look at it. It must be just all machinery. You know what I mean? And it's such a tiny thing in there for them to sit. Ugh, no, thank you.
To the Titanic. Let's bring in CNN anchor and correspondent Paula Newton in Ottawa. Paula, thanks for being with us. It's been confirmed there are 5 people on board the Canadian vessel.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 people. And again, this is a vessel, a submergible. It's about 21 feet long, and it is a special submersible.
21 feet long, so it's about up to here, from here to there. I'm a good
designed
guesstimator.
Specifically to go to this depth. And you're talking nearly 2.5 miles, 13.
Okay, look at it.
1,000 feet to the bottom of the sea where this Titanic wreck is. Now, they lost contact with them Sunday afternoon. We are now approaching about 30 hours nearly from when they decided they were going to start this expedition. And the U.S.
Have any of you guys gone to Newfoundland? It is beautiful. If anyone gets an opportunity to go there, it's quite a place.
Which is leading this in conjunction with the Canadian military and Coast Guard. They admit that, look, this is quite a challenge. This is quite a remote area.
Look at it. Look at it. Oh my God.
They will be searching. And a reminder that they're not just searching, you know, the surface of the water, which is difficult enough in that area of the North Atlantic, but they are also trying to search, of course, in the deep sea. Even if they find this vessel, rescuing it is going to be incredibly difficult, as that level of sea bottom in terms of its depth, that requires a special...
Okay, I never even thought of that. If they find them and they have to rescue them, can you imagine the stress they'd be under pulling them up?
Area of expertise. They are trying to marshal as many resources as they can. That includes trying to basically ask commercial vessels in the area to look as well. They are dealing with about 96 hours, about 4...
Oh, Peggy's Cove, yeah.
So really, we are looking
I
at
went
less
there.
than 3 days that they have to find these 5 people. We believe that there are 2 crew and 3 passengers. And again, this is not like going on a tourism expedition off the coast of Newfoundland to go look at whales. This is a highly specialized expedition, like exploring space. This is instead exploring the deep
Highly specialized, like exploring space. Wow.
bed, which happens right now to have that Titanic wreck. And these explorers, really intrepid, paid for the privilege to go there, but also said that they were conducting research. Right now, it could be possible that all that happened was that they lost communication and not that they are in jeopardy at the bottom of the sea. This vessel has lost communication in the past, but right now it will take a lot of resources to try and deal with what is an extraordinarily difficult search and rescue right now operation underway in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, let's hope that that is the case, and we'll check in with you over the coming days. Thanks very much for being.
Okay, well, that was pretty intense, eh, everyone? I sure hope it ends good. I hope it ends well today. Right, everyone? So, thank you, everyone, for watching. Cookie, especially you. Thanks for watching. It's like, did you read that though? It's like space exploration. That's how specialized it is. It's lost communication in the past. What? Oh, Gina, thanks for stepping up. Yeah, we're gonna go head over to Facebook. And we'll see you there. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Rue. What? BB Raider? Are you talking to me? That's what they said. Oh, brother. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. See you over there. And if not, we'll see you tomorrow. End.